55. Come along, gentlemen. These are no ordinary chairs. They've seen many a romantic evening. 65 over there. Do I hear 60?
60.
Thank you. 65.
70.
Madam, is that a bit? 70, 75. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, lot 28, a pair of vases.
Sir, they found her. She's alive.
Found who?
Sarah Crawford. She's in Somerset.
What? You're sure?
According to the police, she moved there 5 years ago. She changed her name, had a child. The boy's growing up now.
Kick him out.
Sir?
Stop the auction.
But it's already started.
Everything in this house belongs to Sarah Crawford. Stop them before they sell another thing. Well, don't just stand there. Go downstairs and kick the vultures out.
This was Dr. Jekyll's favourite sculpture. What am I bid for this excellent...
Stop! Stop the auction. This sale is now cancelled.
Cancelled? On whose orders?
Mine. Who the hell are you? I am the executor of the estate of the late Dr. Henry James Jekyll.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
There's a Miss Elizabeth works here, I believe.
Over there, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, he's looking good. Very fit indeed. Good work, Elizabeth. I'll take him now.
Thank you, sir.
Sarah? How are you, Sarah? Are you well? It's me. Geoffrey Utterson. I've been searching for you for years.
Go away, Geoffrey. Leave me alone.
Sarah, wait. I've got something to show you. This is Henry Jekyll's will. You are his sole beneficiary. He's left everything to you. His house, investments, everything he owned. I was about to sell it.
I don't want it. Leave me alone.
But I hear you have a son now.
What of him?
Well, doesn't he deserve a good start in life?
You stay away from him. Not one word of what happened in that house. Do you hear me, or I'll kill you. Now leave me alone, Geoffrey.
Sarah, what's happened to you? What's changed you like this?
You know what happened to me.
My dear, I don't.
You saw him! You saw him yourself!
Saw who?
Hyde.
Hyde? Hyde?
Get it! Stop that man! Stop it! Get that man! Stop it! Get hold of him! Somebody stop him! Go now! Ow! Get hold of him!
Didn't even start.
Is she dead? No, she's still breathing. Look, Dr. Jekyll's house is just down the street. Now, one of you help me lift her gently.
Stand back.
Dr. Jekyll! Dr. Jekyll!
Mr. Utterson! Ah, fool, get Dr. Jekyll, quickly. Right.
What is it, Fool? What's going on?
Henry, we have an injured child here. I think she may be dying. A man just pushed her under a carriage. The most horrible thing I ever saw. She was just standing there selling flowers.
Fool, go outside and hail a cab as quickly as you can.
Shall I come with you?
No, Geoffrey. You go on without me.
Sir Peter and Lady Woolston.
Ah, hello, my dear.
Good evening.
Peter, you're a rascal. Who's going to win the election?
Annabelle.
The Liberals.
You're looking wonderful. How are the children? Are they well?
Disgustingly well. And it's about time you had some of your own. Where is your husband?
Singapore.
Oh, what a shame. Doctor?
Mr. Geoffrey Utterson.
Good evening. You know my daughter, of course.
Of course. How are you, Sarah?
Geoffrey. Where's Henry Jekyll? I thought he was coming with you.
He's been detained at the hospital. A child was injured in the street. But he says that he'll come...
Sarah, I want you to come and talk to Professor Elliot.
Get me some chloroform, sutures, and a trephine. Find Dr. Lloyd. Paul, you wait here.
Right, sir.
That was intolerably rude, Father. Geoffrey Utterson is a friend of mine.
He's a friend of Jekyll's. You should not have invited either of them. I'm very annoyed.
Sarah, dear, we were just saying how brave you are.
Brave? How?
Letting your husband loose in the Far East, surrounded by sultry maidens.
They don't allow maidens on board ships of the Royal Navy, Annabelle, sultry or otherwise.
But he's so handsome, dear, and you haven't seen him for ages. Now, I would call that brave in a wife, wouldn't you, Dr. Lanyon?
Father, didn't you want me to speak to Professor Elliot? He's over there.
Oh, did I say something wrong?
It's an intracranial hemorrhage, Paul. There's no other way.
But if you open up her skull, she could die on the table.
And if I don't release the hematoma, she'll die on the stretcher.
Don't do it, sir. You'll kill her.
Bring her in. Swab her down, nurse. I will save you. As God is my witness, I will save you.
I just wanted you to talk to him, that's all. This silly feud's been going on for more than a year.
I won't have Jekyll in this house, and there's an end to it.
Why? Because he's disproved some of your theories?
Damnation, your sister is dead. How am I going to forgive that?
Forgive? What is there to forgive? Louise died of pneumonia. There's no cure for that. You know it.
Sarah, I am a past president of the medical council. Please do not lecture me on medicine. Jekyll killed his wife just as surely as if he'd buried her alive.
Killed her? Father, what are you saying? He loved her. He moved heaven and earth to find a cure.
It's like a witch doctor finds a cure. Experimenting with one treatment after another until she died. The only cure for that charlatan is a bullet in the head. Sarah. Stay away from him, Sarah. You're all I have left.
Dr. Lanyon, isn't this our dance?
Ready? Hold her head, Paul. Completely still. Trephine, please. No movement at all. Swab. Suture. Now, Paul, take her back to the ward and stay with her. All she can die of now is an infection. But she won't. She's a winner. Look. Dry dress the wound. Give her plenty to drink, and I'll see her again in the morning. Thank you. Good night.
It doesn't matter, Sarah, honestly.
It does matter. My father snubbed you, Geoffrey. I'll make him apologize, you'll see.
Make who apologize?
Henry, how's the child?
She's sitting in bed drinking hot milk, I hope.
Oh, that's a relief. I think you should talk to Sarah before you go in. But I'll bid you both good night.
Good night. Am I too late for the ball?
Henry, I must talk to you. My father's...
Just a moment. That's not the last waltz they're playing, is it?
Yes, but
No buts.
Goodness, how romantic. Good night, Sarah. Good night, Dr. Jekyll.
Sarah, our guests are leaving. And you, sir, will oblige me by leaving now. You are not welcome here.
Good night, Sarah.
Leave me alone. No, no, leave me alone, please. Please, leave me alone.
Oi, that's enough, right? If we go, I don't want to...
Leave it, Mr. Hyde. I'll deal with him. Go on, Lucy, get upstairs.
Please.
You're what you are. Troublemaker, that's what you are. Now choose a girl or go.
No. Please, please, please. Don't hurt me. Oh, please. Please don't hurt me again. Please. Don't hurt me again, please. Please don't hurt me.
Right. Get out. Oi, you in there! Leave that girl alone!
I've told you once, now get out. Get out.
What do you mean soliciting? Take your hands off me. I'm a good girl, I am. Take your hands off me. Stop it. Stop it.
Right, you can all go. Go home.
Well, Mr. Utterson?
No, Inspector Palmer. I'm afraid it isn't any of these men.
Pity. We thought we'd got him this time. Perhaps you would favour Sergeant Hornby with your statement.
Certainly.
This way, sir.
Has this man committed crimes before?
All over London. Arson, destruction of property. Last night he walked up to a policeman and just broke his arm.
God, what, for no reason?
Some of them don't need a reason, do they, sir?
Well, do you think you'll find him?
This is Scotland Yard, sir. We'd find him at the North Pole. After you.
These, then, are the frontal lobes, the areas that shape the personality. And the brain works through a system of chemical messengers. So, in theory, we can shape that personality in any way that we please.
Your book says by the use of drugs.
I'm flattered you've read it.
But Dr. Lanyon says the opposite. He says our behavior is fixed at birth. We can never be changed.
Dr. Lanyon is wrong. You drink 6 glasses of whiskey and see if your behavior remains the same. In this bottle, there's a fluid called reserpine. The Indians use it to treat melancholia. People contemplating suicide have had their outlook completely changed. It's crude, but it works.
So, chemicals do control the mind?
Yes.
Perhaps we should give some to Dr. Lannigan.
All right, that's enough. We're on Ward B in 3 minutes.
Sir, one more question. Dr. Jekyll, can drugs be used to improve the intelligence?
One day, who knows, and you'll be the first to get something.
Sir, in Chapter 3, you say we can eliminate madness.
No, I say we can control it by inducing the opposite. There's a difference.
Just by finding the right drug?
Yes.
But that's against the laws of nature, surely.
I can see you're a Lanionite, Stevens. You're going to take a lot of convincing. No more questions. Off you go, Ward B.
I asked downstairs. They said it would be all right.
If it's about last night, it was my fault. I shouldn't have accepted your invitation.
Henry, please listen. My father's been saying some terrible things about you.
He doesn't still think I neglected Louise.
He thinks you killed her.
What?
By treating her with untried medicines. He's been reading your theories about drugs, and he thinks they're dangerous.
That's absurd. She died of pneumonia. Nothing on earth could have saved her.
She was his daughter, Henry. Try to understand.
She was my wife. What kind of a man does he think I am?
Dr. Jekyll,
What is it, Mr. Thomas?
they're waiting for you on B wards, huh?
I'm coming. Can we talk about this over dinner or something?
I can't. Not tonight.
Or lunch tomorrow then at the Cafe Royal.
All right. But Henry, please be careful. My father's a very powerful man.
Right, gentlemen, follow me. This is the patient. She was admitted last night. Can you all see? She'd suffered a severe subdural hemorrhage requiring craniotomy and serosanguineous fluid evacuation of the frontoparietal cortex.
Are you a doctor?
Yes. What gave me away?
Bat.
Oh. You're Victoria, aren't you?
Vicky.
Can I look under your bandages, Vicky?
Yes.
Excuse me, Dr. Jekyll. There's a reporter downstairs.
A reporter?
He says it's urgent.
They can't.
Can't what?
Look under my bandages.
Yes, they are a suspicious-looking bunch, aren't they? You keep an eye on them until I come back.
I will, don't you worry.
Do I have the honour of addressing Dr. Jekyll? Edward Snape, sir. London Record. This'll only take a minute.
What will?
Mr. and Mrs. White are just over there, sir. If you'll follow me, please.
Just a moment. Who are they?
Oh, the grateful parents, Doctor. And very grateful they are too, if I may say so. Nigel! Now, sir, if you could just hold Mrs. White's hand while we talk. Nigel's going to get an artist's impression for our readers. Medical hero meets distressed mother.
This is the doctor what saved little Vicky for you.
How do you do, Mrs. Wyatt?
You'll have to speak up, sir. They're both deaf.
How do you do, Mrs. Wyatt?
Now, Doctor, what went through your mind as the child lay helpless in your arms?
Well, I knew that surgery would be necessary.
What's he say?
Read it in the paper.
No, this will be too hot. I'll have to leave it.
But the evenings are cold, aren't they, ma'am? Out there in the tropics.
Well, not according to the captain. He says that Singapore's like a steam bath.
Margaret, will you leave us, please?
Yes, Dr. Lanyon.
Sarah, last week you brought a copy of that man's book into my house. Last night, you invited him to the Lanyon ball.
If you're talking about Henry Jekyll, Father, please use his name.
But today you went too far. You visited a hospital with which I am personally associated for a public meeting with the very man who is trying to destroy my reputation.
Oh, now you are being ridiculous.
You are a married woman. The whole town is talking.
You mean Annabelle is talking?
Sarah, I want the truth. Has he seduced you? Is that it?
How could you?
you betrayed your husband with your own brother-in-law? Answer me!
How dare you?
You answer my question with a question of your own. So I have my answer, have I not?
Father! Father!
Evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
How's the child?
She'll be as good as new. No supper tonight, Paul. Will you tell Mrs. Clark?
I'm not happy with Mrs. Clark, sir. She's the laziest housekeeper I ever met.
Not now, Paul. I've got work to do.
Very good, sir. Can I get you something to drink?
No, and don't wait up.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night, Paul.
Seen your local police?
Local police? Don't be stupid. Local police? They're useless. Do you know what they said? You're in a dangerous trade. Dangerous? How can I work? Look at me.
You wanted me, Dennis.
This lady thinks she's seen your maniac, Jim.
There's no thinks about it. Look what he'd done to me. That's his picture in the paper. Why don't you do something?
Dennis, get Inspector Palmer down here now. Come on, miss. Come on, sit down.
Come on, you lot. Don't sit here all night.
Here, Del, look at it.
God, what do you think you're okay? I'll tell you. Yeah.
Governor, behind me. It's him. It's the same man.
Right, get the police. I'll keep him talking. Evening, sir. First time in here? Well, you better have a drink on the house, eh?
Sit down, love. Come on, get on with your drinks. That's it, sit down. Come on, Fred, sit down. That's it, then. Calm down, everybody. He's gone. Everything's all right now.
And you're sure it's the same man?
He lives there. His name's Hyde.
Who's this posh friend?
That's who pays his rent, I told you.
And what does he look like?
I've never seen him. He pays Mrs. Hackett.
Woman who runs the place.
Jim, you, me, and 3 men outside in 5 minutes.
Right.
What's your name, love?
Lucy Fletcher.
There's a nurse upstairs, Lucy. Get her to look at those bruises.
God almighty! What is he, a man or a sewer rat?
Hey! Look what you've done to my door.
Where is he, Mrs. Hackett?
I was bringing the key. Look what he done.
Where is he?
I told you, he comes and he goes. Now, who's going to pay for this door?
Alan, this coat's still warm. It's only just left.
He'll be back.
You put that down. That's private property.
Who's his posh friend, Mrs. Hackett?
What posh friend? I don't know no posh friend.
Yes, you do. The one who pays his rent.
That Lucy tell you? She's a lying little slut. He pays the rent himself. Now what's he doing? You tell him to put that down.
What is it, Jim? Medicine?
It's more like sulphur or something.
Bloody vandal. I had the key.
Mrs. Hackett, if you're not out of this room by the time I count 5, I'll close this rat hole down. Do you understand? 1, 2...
Filth. That's what he is. Filth.
What's it say on the label?
Reflux. What's reflux?
I don't know. I want a 24-hour watch on the street and someone in here all night watching the old hag. I don't want him warned off.
Where are you going?
Back to the yard. I want to know what's in this bottle.
Wait a minute. Who's going to sit with the old hag?
It's you she fancies, Jim, not me.
Thanks. Oh.
The Café Royal.
Where is my daughter going, Williams?
I think to her dressmaker, sir.
At the Café Royal, get your hat and coat. I want you to deliver a letter to the office of the London Record.
Then the dawn came up. She touched my hand. I watched her slip away. I can still feel that touch, even now.
So sorry, Henry.
She was my wife, Sarah. And your father thinks I killed her?
Try to forgive him. He's old and I'm making it worse.
How could you make it worse?
I've been friends with you. He's accused me of being your mistress.
Now, that's outrageous. I'm going to talk to him.
No, it's not important.
This has got to stop, Sam.
It doesn't matter.
Of course it matters. Talk like this could ruin you.
It's not me he's trying to ruin. It's you.
Me? Why?
Sit down, Henry, please. You're replacing him, don't you see?
No, I don't see.
Then you're blind. All his life he's been respected for his knowledge. His books are the standard works of medicine throughout the world, and now you've challenged him.
Science moves on, sir. Nothing stays the same.
You're not listening. You believe that science should have no limits. He sees that as evil.
Evil is not a scientific word.
Perhaps that's why he fears you.
Man was made in the image of the Creator. So not only are Jekyll's ideas dangerous, they also laugh in the face of God.
The ravings of an old man, Mr. Devlin. We can't print a word of it. I'll send it back.
Dr. Lanyon is a past president of the Medical Council, Snape. You don't ignore a man like that.
Not entirely, sir, I do agree, but...
Show this letter to Jekyll. We'll print his reply on the same page.
I was going to suggest that, sir.
Oh, you were you?
Right. Well, I've persuaded the editor to print this letter after all.
Oh, splendid.
Give my regards to Dr. Lanyon and get my name right. Snape. Edward Snape.
Of course.
Give my regards to Richard. I hear he's in line for Admiral.
So they say.
You'll enjoy Singapore. Sunshine, all those Navy parties.
Don't mock me, Henry, please.
Mock you?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
What did you mean?
It's getting late. I should go.
Sarah, I've known you since you were a little girl. What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just tired.
It's more than that. What is it?
I don't love him. It's not his fault. I don't love him. I never have.
Oh, Sarah. Why did you marry him?
Why? You know why.
No. I don't.
Yes, you do. Because I couldn't have you.
Sarah?
This is the gentleman, sir. He's been waiting for over an hour.
I told your man we'd met before, Doctor, but I don't think you believe me. Edward Snape, London Record.
Yes, Mr. Snape.
My editor received this letter today. It's from an eminent surgeon, a Dr. Lanyon. I've decided to print it. so I thought you might like to comment.
Your parents are due at 8, sir.
Thank you, Paul.
Isn't your father a member of Parliament, Doctor? A man of progressive views, like yourself, I believe.
What's in the letter, Mr. Snape?
It's in the nature of an attack on your book, sir. I was just admiring your art collection. Very impressive. And I say that as one who prefers photography to art. The advance of science, so to speak. But then, that's what the debate's all about, isn't it, Doctor? The advance of science. We'll print your reply, of course. Doctor, I said we'll print your reply. A chance to put your views across. I'm sure that's only fair. Don't you agree?
I'll have to study the letter first.
I'm sorry, Doctor. We go to press in 2 hours. Perhaps I could ask you a few questions instead. You were once married to Dr. Lanyon's daughter, I believe. Do you mind telling me how she died?
Good evening, Father. Where are the chairs? Where's my chair?
Are you addressing me, madam?
Father, what's going on?
I am not your father. I have no daughters now. Both are dead.
What do you mean?
You are not welcome here. You must go to your husband.
Father, what are you saying?
Williams, you'll remove this person from our house. And after that, you will post this letter that I have written to her husband. I do not wish to see her again. Now do your duty.
No, wait.
You were seen in the park, in the arms of your lover. Now get out!
William, please, leave me alone.
Sorry, ma'am, I have my orders.
Father, make him stop!
Adulteress!
I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm truly sorry.
Very interesting theory, Doctor. Our readers are always interested in scientific matters. Now, just one more question. This conflict between you and Dr. Lanyon, is it entirely scientific, or could it be, well, a personal matter?
He's the one who wrote the letter, Mr. Snape. Why don't you ask him?
Oh, I will, sir. That's my job. But it is a strange coincidence, you must admit. A father-in-law with a grudge, perhaps? Has been known before, if I may say so.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes, Paul.
Could you spare a moment, sir?
What is it?
I think it's important.
What is?
Mrs. Crawford's here.
Mrs. Crawford?
I'll show you out. Will you come this way, please?
All right, but he won't get away with this. Sarah, listen.
No, I'll go to my cousin's. If I could...
Who's the,
Nonsense. You'll stay the night.
lady?
Good night, sir.
What?
I don't...
Stop worrying, you'll be all right.
Sir.
Ah, Paul, get some towels and call Mrs. Clark.
Mr. and Mrs. Jekyll are arriving.
Henry, your parents. I must go.
Nonsense.
Crawford. Mrs. Crawford.
Close those doors.
Good evening, Mr. Jekyll. Mrs. Jekyll?
Good evening, Paul.
Good evening.
And then the Secretary of State asked me if I'd enjoyed the evening, so I told the old fool the truth. What did you say?
Oh, don't encourage him, Henry. It was most unseemly. I simply said that if the soup had been as warm as the champagne, and if the fish had been as fresh as the maid, and if the maid had been as willing as the hostess, it would have been a very rewarding evening. You should have seen his face.
It's a wonder we're invited anywhere.
Your mother's still ashamed of me, Harry, after all these years.
To rewarding evenings.
What, in port wine? Where's your Napoleon brandy? What?
This is the doctor's room, as you can see, madam. I'm only the housekeeper, of course, but I put you in here because I've had no instructions to the contrary.
I'm sure it'll be all right, Mrs. Clark.
I laid out one of your sister's nightgowns. I expect it will fit.
Thank you.
Oh, it's no trouble. He kept all of her clothes. They were a very devoted couple, the doctor and your sister. So they tell me. I've changed the sheets. Good night, madam.
Good night, Mrs. Clark.
Well, if you gentlemen will give me a moment to myself. Thank you, Paul.
Coffee will be served in the drawing room, Mrs. Jekyll.
You can't fool me, Harry. So don't try.
Fool you? How?
You're overworking. I can see it in your face. I worked like that, too, to educate you. And I'm very proud of you, but... don't kill yourself, boy.
I'm proud of you, too.
He didn't say much, Mr. Devlin, as you can see.
So, who was this woman in his arms?
The butler called her Mrs. Crawford. I have looked in the medical register, but there's no Dr. Crawford listed.
Medical register?
People mix with their own kind, Mr. Devlin. She might have been a doctor's wife.
Well, she's somebody's wife. Stay with it. I smell a scandal brewing. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, Harry. Thank you. And your mother's right, you know. You should marry again.
Doctor Jekyll, might I have a word with you, sir?
What is it, Mrs. Clark?
I've looked in on Mrs. Crawford and she's sleeping soundly. I don't know whether you'd like me to make you up a separate room or whether you've made your own arrangements.
I'll be staying at my club tonight.
If you say so, sir. But nobody told me.
It's my fault, Mrs. Clark. I forgot.
You know best, Mr. Poole.
Sarah Crawford? Louise's sister?
Yes. I'll tell you about it tomorrow, Mother.
Very well, dear. Good night, Harry.
Good night.
Good night, Harry.
Good night.
Doctor? Doctor!
What is it?
I don't know, ma'am.
Dr. Jekyll.
It's all right, Paul. Go to bed.
Is anything wrong, sir?
I just dropped something. Go to bed.
If there's anything I can do.
Go away!
Would you like a hot drink?
No, thank you. Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Crawford.
Time, Jack.
2:30.
You hungry?
What is it, bread and cheese?
No, it's smoked salmon souffle. Eat it while it's hot.
Jim. Fits the description. You think it's him?
Could be.
He's going in.
Let's find out. That's his room. Ready?
Yes.
God.
He's dead.
Morning, Mom. It's Poole. Mrs. Crawford. I've breakfast for you. What is it? Mrs. Clark. Mrs. Clark. Mrs. Clark! Mrs. Clark, come quickly! Mrs. Clark! Mrs. Clark! Mrs. Clark, where are you?
I can't wait any longer. When Sergeant Hornby gets here, give him this box. And tell him
now, sir.
How's Jack's wife?
How do you think? There's 2 little boys as well. You better lock me up, Governor, because I'm going to shoot that bastard dead.
Calm down, Jim.
Here, take this.
What is it?
The bottle. The one we found in the room. I want to know what's in it and what it's used for.
I'll tell you something. He's got to get his bloody strength from somewhere. He killed Jack with one hand.
So get it analyzed. You know what reflux means? I looked it up. It means flowing backwards.
Alan, we've got to get him now. You know that, don't you?
Or we'll get him. That I guarantee.
Sitting there. It was just sitting on the bed. Oh, God, it was horrible.
Don't talk. Drink this. It'll make you sleep. Poole, where's Mrs. Clark?
The damn woman's gone out.
I wanted her to stay with Mrs. Crawford.
No.
You'll feel drowsy soon. I want you to get some sleep.
How did you get in? It was there on the bed.
You wanted me, Doctor?
Where have you been, Clark?
To get the police. They're downstairs now. I hope I did right.
I don't mind, as long as it's straight.
Look, if you want any more, get them yourself.
Hey, how old are you, Cheeky?
13.
Do you want to be 14? Ah, Ted, here's your article. Literature at last.
How long is this going to take?
10 minutes if you're lucky. 20 if you're not. Here, have some. Keep up your strength.
Very funny.
So when can we see the lady?
Not until this evening. She's under sedation.
Do you know how he got in, sir?
The window in my laboratory is broken. Poole, perhaps you would show the officers.
Certainly, sir. This way, please.
Punctuation, that's the problem.
That's all back to the story on page 3.
Which one?
What about the dog being run over?
Eureka.
Where did you get that from?
Hello, Mrs. Crawford.
You're writing a news item, for heaven's sake, not an essay. Quote the Prime Minister in the first paragraph. Yes, Nick.
Society page, 3 years old. Marriage. Captain Richard Crawford of the Royal Navy to Sarah, youngest daughter of Dr. Charles Lanyon. That's who she is, Mr. Devlin. She's Sarah Lanyon.
Lanyon's daughter in Jekyll's arms.
Happened before. Wife dies, go for the sister.
Sharpen your pencils, Snape.
Never blunt, sir.
Dr. Key! Dr. Key! Dr. Key's the fraud! Dr. Key's the fraud! All the ladies! Dr. Key's the fraud! All the ladies! Moving to India! Dr. Key's the fraud!
Take you back? What do you mean, take you back? The place is crawling with coppers because of you. I can't find anywhere else. Then why'd you go to the police, you stupid little slut? Because he beat me, that's why. Pity he didn't break your neck. I'll get you, you old bag. You see if I don't. I'll tell him about the doctor. You do and I'll kill you. You're back. The police are looking for you. That man died last night. You killed him. So I'll need more money. Tell the doctor I'll need more money. Understand? Oh, God.
Come in here and tell me about the doctor.
That is impossible.
What is wrong now?
Well, if the powder's acidic, it should turn this indicator red.
You don't know what you're doing, do you?
I'm a technician, Sergeant, not a genius. You should have taken it to a chemical analyst.
That's not what you said when I brought it in. Where do I find one?
Try the universities.
I want a name.
Well, ask the man who wrote that book. Perhaps he knows what the bloody stuff is. I don't.
Margaret, step aside, please.
Morning, Dr. Lanyon.
Morning, Margaret.
Margaret. Right.
Hello, gorgeous. A girl like you could flutter a sailor's heart. Is the captain's wife at home?
Who's asking?
Of course. You must be Margaret.
How do you know my name?
Prettiest girl in Mayfair, the captain always says. How right he was.
Are you from Captain Crawford's ship?
A finer captain never sailed the seven seas, Margaret. But here. He's besotted. Captain's behaving like a lovesick duck. Ted, he says to me, always calls me Ted. Ted, he says, when you're in London, tell my dear wife how much I miss her. I'd do anything for the captain. So, is the lady at home?
Oh, no.
What's wrong?
Well, she's gone. Dr. Lanyon slung her out last night in the pouring rain. They say she's got a lover. That Dr. Jekyll.
A lover? Margaret, I'm shocked. I never thought I'd live to hear it said.
Well, what are you going to tell the captain?
The truth, Margaret. The sad, sad truth.
Hey, just a minute. What's your name?
Yes, Johnson, I have read that article in the Record. And I think that Dr. Lanyon is blind. All over Africa, men who believe that they are going to die, they die. And why? Because the mind controls the body. Alter the mind, and you alter the man.
If that were true, we could be whatever we wanted to be.
And one day, we will be. Tall, short, strong, weak, like grafting roses.
But that's like playing God.
Yes. And it will happen. Science will control our shapes, our intelligence, even create new breeds of men. Violent men to fight our wars. Docile men to do our work. Hell on earth. And I want no part of it.
All right, I'll ask again. He walks in here and he rents a room. What was his name?
I told you. He said he was a doctor. That's all I know.
And then a week later, Hyde arrives. He turns his pig pen into a sewer, starts hitting the girls. You don't complain.
He was a patient. The doctor was treating him.
He must have paid you a lot of money, our friend, the doctor. £20, was it? 30 to shut your mouth?
Cough yourself off.
All right, Mrs. Hackett, who is he? Who is Hyde? Answer me!
The devil.
What?
The devil.
Sarah? Are you awake?
Oh, Henry, you frightened me.
Can I talk to you?
Of course. Oh, my head hurts.
I'll get you some.
No, don't go. Have they found him?
No. And they won't.
What do you mean?
They'll never find him.
Why not?
Because he isn't real.
Henry, it's not my imagination. He was here. He was in this room. I'm not making it up. It happened.
Sarah, hear me out. I know how real he can seem. Because I know who he is.
You know him. Then how can you say he's not real?
He was induced.
You're not making any sense. If you know who he is, then he's real. Who is he? Who is he, Henry?
He is me.
Oh, no, insane. This is insane. What are you saying?
I don't have much time. If I tell you, will you listen to me? Right to the end.
Doctor, the police have returned. They're asking for Mrs. Crawford.
Tell them to wait.
Sir.
Please, Sarah, listen to me. I am in more trouble than any man alive.
Dr. Jekyll, the police will see you now, sir.
I'm coming.
Right.
Now, let me see if I've got this straight. You didn't see his face,
Not clearly, no.
and you can't describe his clothes.
It was too dark.
At 7:30 in the morning.
The curtains were closed.
Mrs. Crawford, I know this is distressing, but is there anything you can tell us about this man? Anything at all? Ah, Doctor.
There is one thing, Sergeant.
Yes, Mom?
The window in the doctor's room is broken.
We've seen that.
Well, perhaps he climbed in there.
Not unless he was a contortionist.
It was broken from the inside.
Oh. I'm afraid there's no more I can tell you. Absolutely nothing. I'm sorry I wasted your time.
I see. Well, if you do remember anything...
Yes, you will be the first to know. Good night.
Good night, Mom. Good night, Doctor.
Good night.
Yes, we'll find our own way out.
What's her game?
You mean you don't know? Lover's tiff. Jekyll hits her, Butler finds her, all very embarrassing, so she spins us a yarn.
Nice looking girl, though.
Yeah, better without the bruises.
May I show you something? This is where he was born. He's hidden in here. 18 years to work it out. Insects, mice. And one day, last April, I saw it in a flash. It should have been able to turn the ugly beautiful and the stupid bright. But all I found was Hyde.
Henry, I don't understand any of this.
No. Please listen. That was a wonderful thing you did just now. Giving me back my freedom. It was more than I deserve. Well, this is my answer.
Henry, no.
No, sir. No, sir. Let it burn.
It's your life's work.
It's a betrayal. I'm a doctor. I'm supposed to get rid of pain, not to cause it. I took an oath.
That's what my father always says.
He was right. And I was wrong. Will you go back to Singapore?
Do you want me to? Brother-in-law? Annabelle, are you sure? Charlotte, it's all over the papers. They don't even deny it.
It's outrageous.
My dear, that's why the whole town is talking. Charlotte, it's Beresford Mount.
Beresford Mount?
Dr. Jekyll?
No, sir. This is Dr. Jekyll.
Ah, Doctor, my name is Beresford Mount. We've been reading about your theories in the papers. Very controversial. Perhaps you'd care to discuss them over supper.
I don't need an argument tonight, Mr. Mount. And in any case, I'm dining with friends.
Yes, so am I, sir. The party I'm with is sitting up there, in the royal box. You see, I'm private secretary to the Prince of Wales. Perhaps we could all meet up in the foyer and go on from there? It's been a privilege to meet you, Mr. Jekyll.
Annabelle, you don't think they've been invited, do you? Certainly not. The prince has more sense.
Very good of you to come at this late hour, Dr. Lanyon.
I had very little choice. Until 5 minutes ago, I was a guest at the commissioner's dinner table. Where is this substance?
Here, sir. There's not much of it left, I'm afraid. I've carried out so many tests.
What tests?
The ones in your book, sir.
You've eliminated strychnine, iodine, morphine.
Not yet, Doctor, no.
Potassium permanganate. All the opiates.
I don't have the equipment, sir.
Yes, so I see. Well, I'll give you a list of what I need. I shall start after lunch tomorrow.
Hot chestnuts. Get your chestnuts. Hot chestnuts.
Thank you very much.
Get your
Good night.
chestnuts. Hot chestnuts. Get your chestnuts.
Plenty of customers?
Pull it off, Gov. You'll not come back.
Then we'll have to find another way, won't we, Sergeant?
Bloody waste of time. Hot chestnuts. Get your chestnuts.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Fancy a chestnut?
And so when I told them I was not Mrs. Jekyll, they all just nodded and smiled.
What else could they do? The prince has a string of mistresses. 2 of them were there.
A string?
That's why he looks so old.
He doesn't look a day over 40.
You know he's only 16.
Fool.
Oh, let's stop at my parents and tell them we had supper with the Prince of Wales. They'll love that.
Oh, no, Henry, please. I can't face them yet.
Of course you can. Driver, stop, please.
No, Henry, please. I've had too much champagne. I can't even get my words out.
Nonsense. They'll never notice the difference.
No, you go.
Without you?
You'll enjoy it. Go on.
Driver, take the lady to number 4 Clifford Street, please. Or as you would say, Strafford Cleat.
Don't keep them up too late.
Nonsense. Celebration is a celebration, and it calls for Napoleon brandy. You only drink for heroes and the terror of the weak. I can't remember where I put it. You always do this. Why do you keep hiding it?
Because the cook is a drunk. Now, you look that side, and I'll look this. Prince doesn't have to hide his brandy, I'll wager. Your mother will talk all night now, you know that, don't you? What Harry said to the prince and what the prince said to Harry. I think I'll sleep down here.
We didn't say much, you know. There were 12 other people there.
Well, that won't stop your mother. She'll make it up. Now, about Sarah, is she getting a divorce? You can't thumb your nose at society forever, Harry. They'll freeze you out in the end. They always do. Harry, what have you done? What is it? Harry, what is it?
Henry, I heard a noise. Are you all right?
Ready?
We've lost it. It's no use. Why did he stop here?
Heliport in a storm. Come on.
Jekyll. Dr. H. J. Jekyll.
Who is it? Who's there? Henry, what is it? What's wrong? What's happened?
He's killed my father.
Oh, my God.
I can't control him, Sam. He's inside me.
Inside you? No, you destroyed it. The chemicals, everything, you destroyed it.
He's a part of me. He's like a huge viper living inside of me. I keep him drugged, but he's very strong. It worked at first, but he's so strong.
It's a very sophisticated compound, Inspector. That's why it's taking so long. At least 4 of the ingredients are completely unknown to me. Quite extraordinary. Right, bring me the distillation.
Don't go to too much trouble, Dr. Lanyon. We only wanted to know what it might be used for.
First, I have to know what it is.
Sir, shall it be clear this time? Clear liquid?
Of course.
It's not. It's happened again. Look.
How much of the original compound is left?
Only about an ounce.
I'm going to send a small sample to every research institute in London.
Good idea, sir.
There is an answer. There must be an answer. And I shall find it. Right, thank you, gentlemen.
Right, Doctor. I'll see you out.
Goodbye, sir. I hope you sit on a Bunsen burner.
I thought you admired him.
Not after what they said about him in the papers. Threw his daughter out in the rain. Old reptile. I kept the paper on the bench just to embarrass him. You should have seen his face.
Jekyll. Dr. H.J. Jekyll.
Alan? Alan?
Mother, it's Henry.
Dr. Lloyd said it is irreversible.
Yes.
It's a stroke, isn't it?
Yes.
Can she hear you?
No. And she can't see me either.
Mr. Snape. Sergeant Hornby, Scotland Yard.
Oh, yes.
Apparently you wrote this article.
That's right.
What do you know about Dr. Henry James Jekyll?
Enough. Why?
Does he treat any special patients? Dangerous ones? Violent ones?
Oh. I'll get your drift.
Copy, boy.
Do you mean the sort of lunatic that might push little girls under coaches right outside his house?
Might even live in the house, Mr. Snape.
Well, well. Sit down, Sergeant. I'll tell you everything I know.
It's hopeless.
You found it once, you'll find it again.
There are 32 different ingredients, Sarah. Over 1,000 combinations. It took years, and I burnt all my notes.
I'm going to see my father. I know he will help us.
No, it's too late. There's no time.
But he's already helping the police. It says right here, chemicals were taken from the suspect's room in Limehouse for analysis by the eminent Dr. Charles Lanyon.
Limehouse?
Excuse me, Doctor. Visitors arrived.
They didn't destroy it, Sarah. They didn't destroy it.
Who is it?
It's Mr. Utterson, Mum. He's downstairs.
They have a whole bottle.
Mum.
I'll analyze it and reproduce it.
Shall I say it's inconvenient?
Yes.
It'll only take a few days.
No. No, I'll come. Henry, wait here.
Sarah, I apologize for arriving unannounced, but I had to offer my condolences.
Thank you, Geoffrey. I'll tell Henry.
A double tragedy. I hear Mrs. Jekyll suffered a stroke.
Yes, we saw her this afternoon.
I'm so sorry. As the family lawyer, if there's anything I
You're
can
most
do,
kind. Perhaps we could see each other in a day or two.
What was that, the front door?
Henry? Henry, wait!
Round the back. Right. There's 3 round the back and 2 at the end of the mews.
Right. Wait here.
Hello, Sergeant. Any chance of an exclusive?
Wait and see.
Dr. Lanyon, there's someone here with a note. I told him what is it you are dining, but he says it requires an answer.
Jekyll. He wants me to see a patient.
I told you to wait outside.
Help me. All right, Williams. Leave us.
Are you sure, sir?
He's a referred patient. I have to see him.
As you wish, Doctor.
Well, what is it?
Doctor, where is it? Police gave you my powder. Got it! Get to the letters over there.
I'm sending it to colleagues. Find out what it contains. What are you doing?
I am saving my neck from the gallows.
You can't drink that. It's poison.
Charles. Help me. Please.
A fair likeness, Mr. Utterson?
There can't be many men like this, Inspector.
Precisely. Last month, he injures a child outside this house, and last night he was out there again. You haven't seen any prowlers in the neighborhood, Mrs. Crawford? Nothing suspicious?
No, nothing.
You surprise me. 2 weeks ago, you told the local police you were attacked and raped in this very house. Is there anything you'd like to tell me, Mrs. Crawford?
Charles, please listen to me.
It's a trick.
It's not a trick. It's metabiological change.
It's just not possible.
But you've just seen it. It's phosphorylation on a massive scale. But I don't know how the cells reform.
You're insane.
No, I am not insane. I am desperate. Charles, in the name of mercy. There's not enough time. You must help me. With your knowledge and mine, we can suppress it, reverse it. I know we can.
Oh.
We'll analyze the powder. How much do you have left?
How much?
The green bottle. The one from Hyde's room. I labeled it reflux. You have it. Where is it?
Henry. Henry. There is no more.
Help me! Somebody, please! Help me!
God can help you now.
Then why doesn't he?
Thank you, Paul.
Mom. You have nothing to add to what you told the local police.
Nothing, Inspector.
Then I'll bid you good night.
Dr. Jekyll, there's someone... Dr. Jekyll? Dr. Jekyll!
Oh, Henry. Thank goodness I thought...
Go away. Leave me.
I need to talk to you.
Look.
Oh, no!
He's coming, Sarah. Go before he kills you. Run while I'm still here. In heaven's name.
Sarah, what is it?
Go away.
You're going to die.
No! Go away.
There's someone else in there.
Leave them.
Sarah, stand aside.
Leave them alone.
No. Inspector. Inspector Paul.
God, I love you.
Sarah, dear, come away. Come. Bring it down. Is he dead?
Shot himself. Twice.
But there was someone else.
No sign of a break-in.
Jim, make sure that reporter stays outside. And get a sheet. I want him covered up.
Right, sir.
Suicide.
never knew, Sarah. I never guessed the truth.
My father died about a month later. So I'm the only one that does know.
Now me.
Yes. And now you.
What will you do?
Live here with my son. But he must never know, Geoffrey.
Of course.
Ever.
I assume he is Henry's child.
Oh, yes. He's Henry Jekyll's child. Harry?